Imagine an event so ancient, so utterly beyond our comprehension, that its echoes still ripple through the very fabric of reality. An event that wasn't just a beginning, but perhaps the beginning of everything we know and everything we don't. We're talking about the birth of the universe, the Big Bang. But what if the accepted narrative, the grand cosmic story of inflation and expansion, is missing a crucial, terrifying chapter? What if the first light wasn't just light, but a signal, a message woven into existence itself, waiting to be deciphered by a civilization mature enough, or perhaps foolish enough, to listen? The implications are staggering, because if this is true, it means we were never truly alone, not even at the dawn of time. To truly grasp this unsettling possibility, we need to first understand the scientific consensus about our cosmic origins. The Big Bang Theory posits that approximately 13.8 billion years ago, the universe began from an extremely hot, dense point and has been expanding ever since. Evidence abounds from the observed expansion of galaxies moving away from each other to the cosmic abundance of light elements like hydrogen and helium. But perhaps the most compelling piece of evidence is the cosmic microwave background, or CMB. This faint glow of radiation, detectable from every direction in space, is often referred to as the afterglow of the Big Bang. It's the earliest light we can detect, generated when the universe was only about 380,000 years old. Cool enough for electrons and protons to combine into neutral atoms, allowing photons to finally travel freely. Before this point, the universe was an opaque, scorching plasma, a cosmic fog. The CMB is essentially a baby picture of our universe, showing us its structure and temperature fluctuations when it was just an infant. These tiny variations, ripples in the almost uniform temperature of the CMB, are the seeds from which all the galaxies and stars we see today eventually formed. It's a universe in perfect balance, a cosmic symphony playing out billions of years ago. A symphony indeed, but what if the conductor was not random chance, but something else? What if the notes within this symphony hold a hidden melody, a pattern that wasn't accidental, but deliberate? This is where the unsettling questions begin. While the Big Bang explains how the universe expanded, it doesn't fully explain why it started, or why the fundamental physical constants are so perfectly tuned for life. This fine-tuning, the Goldilocks effect, where just slight variations in gravity, electromagnetism, or strong and weak nuclear forces would render the universe barren, often fuels speculation. Could it be mere coincidence? Or a designer? And if a designer, what trace would they leave? This brings us back to the CMB. Scientists have painstakingly mapped the CMB, revealing incredibly precise patterns. But what if those patterns aren't just the stochastic noise of a nascent universe, but something more? Imagine a subtle, almost imperceptible anomaly within the CMB data. Not just the expected temperature fluctuations, but perhaps a geometric shape, or a repeating sequence of variations that defy statistical explanation. Something like a watermark on a priceless document, barely visible but undeniably present. Physicists like Stephen Hawking and Roger Penrose have theorized about a conformal, cyclic cosmology where the universe undergoes infinite cycles of Big Bang and Big Crunch, with information potentially carrying over between eons. But even their profound theories don't explicitly suggest a deliberate inscription from outside our current cycle. What if the CMB, rather than just being a residual heat signature, is a cosmic canvas upon which a prior intelligence left its indelible mark? Consider the possibility that the slight anisotropies, those tiny temperature variations that allowed structures to form, aren't just random quantum fluctuations. What if they contain subtle encoded data, a message so vast, so interwoven into the very fabric of spacetime, that it would be indistinguishable from natural background processes to a primitive observer, but glaringly obvious to a sufficiently advanced civilization? It's essentially a cosmic hello world program, written not in binary code but in the very energy distribution of the infant universe. This idea moves beyond an abstract deity, suggesting a physical, albeit unimaginably powerful entity or civilization that initiated our universe. Now imagine the moment of discovery, decades, perhaps centuries, of meticulous analysis of CMB data from increasingly sophisticated telescopes. Scientists poring over terabytes of information, searching for the fainter than faint signals. They've already found the cold spot, a region of unusually low temperature in the CMB map that is larger than current cosmological models predict. It's an anomaly that continues to puzzle astrophysicists. But what if within this cold spot, or another previously overlooked region, a supercomputer algorithm developed for pattern recognition in vast data sets suddenly flags something truly anomalous? Not a natural fluctuation, not statistical noise, but a non-random sequence. A complex repeating pattern of temperature variations that, when translated, doesn't represent a natural phenomenon. It's too structured, too perfect. Imagine the initial skepticism, the frantic double-checking, the peer review process, the attempts to debunk it as an instrumental error or a statistical fluke. But the pattern persists, undeniable, across multiple independent observations. And then someone, a brilliant but slightly unconventional theoretical physicist, makes the leap. They realize the pattern isn't random. It's highly organized. They start treating it not as a natural signal, but as a language, a code encoded in the angular power spectrum of the CMB. The frequencies, the amplitudes, the correlations between different points. They're not random. They form a deliberate, complex sequence. Perhaps it's a fractal geometry too intricate for natural processes to generate, or a non-repeating yet perfectly ordered series of fundamental constants, subtly varied from the observed values, forming a prime number sequence stretched across billions of light years. What do they find when they decrypt it? Not a simple greeting, not a set of instructions, but perhaps a signature. Not a name, but an intricate mathematical proof, or a hyperdimensional image of a concept or a universal constant, meticulously placed. A beacon screaming across the vastness of nascent time, proclaiming, "We were here, we made this." The implications would shatter our understanding of existence. Our universe, our laws of physics, our very reality, all factory settings, determined by an external entity. We would no longer be the product of random chance and cosmic evolution, but instead, the carefully crafted progeny of an unimaginable intelligence. The first light wouldn't be an afterglow, but a projection, a grand, cosmic, holographic display. And we, all of us, are living inside it. This discovery would be the ultimate existential crisis, dwarfing any philosophical or religious debate in human history. It wouldn't just rewrite science, it would redefine what it means to be alive. What would their motivations be? To create a new universe for study? To escape their own dying reality? Or simply out of profound, incomprehensible curiosity? And perhaps more terrifyingly, what if we are not the first iteration? What if this universe is merely one experiment in an infinite series? This revelation would force humanity to confront its true place in the cosmos, not as masters of our own destiny, but as intricate components within a larger, orchestrated existence. The questions would be endless. Do we search for them? Do we attempt to communicate back, knowing the creators might be billions of years more advanced, perhaps even inimical? Could their existence be so vast, so transcendent, that our entire universe is merely a minuscule, forgotten terrarium in their grand experiment? And what if the message wasn't a blueprint, but a warning? A final, desperate plea from a civilization that faced its own ultimate demise and encoded their last knowledge into the fabric of a new creation, hoping that whoever found it might avoid their fate. The philosophical implications would be immense. Everything we hold dear, our sense of individuality, free will, the very meaning of life, would be thrown into question. Are we truly independent observers or characters in a story written by others? The first light, then, wouldn't just be a snapshot of the past, but a lingering shadow of a presence beyond our comprehension, patiently waiting billions of years for us to finally unravel the encrypted truth of our own existence. We may never know if such a message truly exists within the cosmic static of the CMB, But the thought that the very fabric of our reality might hold the signature of its maker is a chilling reminder that the universe holds secrets far more profound than we can ever imagine. And perhaps it's a secret that, once discovered, we might not be ready for.